Hey guys, how's it going? Today we're going to be doing something a bit different, and I'm actually going to be going over my favorite trap tunnels to use in pretty much my everyday missions. Now, this is actually a retake. I am recording this just after I woke up, so pardon my morning voice, right? But yeah, I actually recorded this video yesterday in the afternoon, but I knew that I can do better on it, right? And I want to release, an actual better product than what I originally, had. So that's why I'm doing this. So I had to remake this whole setting. This took like half an hour to remake and stuff. But yeah, before I get into anything else, quick shout out to everyone who's my supported creator code. It really means a lot. And code Stockings. It'll be in the description. It's the same as my channel name. So yeah, you guys have been killing it. It really means a lot. I'm about to be a college student in a couple months, so having a bit more extra money in my pocket would be nice to cover expenses and stuff. So yeah, without further ado, let me hop right into the video. So before I go into any tunneling, right, before all these tunnels that I set up for you guys to look at, I actually want to go over this real quick. And this is something really important. This is funneling, right? You guys have seen me do this in my videos plenty of times, right? Where pretend that the wooden pillars are husks, right? And funneling is really important because you want to pretty much like direct the husks to go into like one area where you can just build all these amazing tunnels that I'm about to showcase here and all that stuff. So yeah, so this is kind of just like a little mock-up that I did of like a quick funnel and of a quick funneling system. So it's like, yeah, so we got husk spawning over there, over here, and over there. So we got three angles that they're coming from, right? Well, here on this area, I merged these two spawns to come down to this one area. So this one area is going to be pretty congested, so I do recommend setting up like a nice tunnel here, right? And then over here, we have some husk spawning over here, and it's simple as just, funneling them into this area right here. We already built the funnel right there, right? So we don't have to build too much over here. But like, pretend this was like more area over here, right? You can just keep building on like this, and all that stuff, right? So that you can make the AI go down here in this one area, so that you can just shoot them easily, and your traps do a lot of damage and all that stuff. So yeah, this is just like pretty much like a funneling for dummies. Basically, just build like walls and ramps like this to build like a wall, right? And then put the actual like tunnel, like leave like an opening somewhere, right? So they can actually go down that tunnel, and then you just put all your traps and stuff, building and all that stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much like a funneling for dummies and all that stuff. So yep. Now before I get into this tunnel over here, I actually am going to be going over all these other tunnels first, and then go to this one. So yeah, this tunnel here is actually one that I've been using a lot actually in some easier missions. Like not really for players, but like just like like 132s, 140s, 124s, all that stuff. And it's a really simple, compact gas trap tunnel, right? It's only 2 tiles long, right? And it's really effective. So what happens, right, is that when the husks walk in, right, they're gonna get snared by the floor spikes, right, and they're gonna get blasted by the sound wall, so they're gonna get crowd controlled even more, and then they're gonna get zapped by the dynamo, and then the gas trap kicks in, right, and now basically like the first little batch of husks that showed up are gonna get obliterated by the dynamo and all that stuff, and the initial gas, right, but then all the other dudes that come in after, they're gonna get gassed, and they're gonna get snared, and this pairs really well with the Ice King. Actually, I brought a constructor loader here just to showcase. With the Ice King as well in the support or in Commander, either one works. He gets his additional snare effect, and the snare actually stacks with the wooden floor spikes. The wooden floor spikes actually stack 30% slow on any target that actually walks them. That includes husks, huskies, lobbers, nurses, smashers, mist monsters, all that stuff, right? They're gonna get slowed, and then Ice King's perk actually stacks on top of that, so it's really nice. So if you want to be like more cost or like more eco-friendly, you don't have to use freeze traps. You can just use wooden floor spikes and pair that with Ice King, and it's a really good combo. And then the gas, sound wall, all that. But then if they make it around this first bend right here, then they're also going to get stunned by wall lights and hit by another set of gas traps, and even more floor spikes to do more chip damage. And my floor spikes are also perked up to actually do damage, by the way. This is how I recommend perking your wooden floor spikes. I did a whole trap perks video on all that stuff. I'll probably link it down below, so you guys can check that out. And yeah, so damage, double crit damage, crit rating, heals attached. And that's another thing I forgot to mention as well. The heals attached. All these traps here have heals attached, except my wall darts actually, but I should change it to heals attached, but I haven't yet, but I definitely should. But yeah, so well, not the wall lights too actually, but like the sound wall, the wall dynamo, and the wooden floor spikes, they all have this heals attached perk, right here, heals attached. So you can actually use these things in like exploding death bomb missions as well. I've noticed that in exploding death bomb missions, the Huskies die, but then because of the healing attached from the sound wall and the dynamo and the floor spikes, the tunnel actually stays up pretty nicely. The only thing you gotta watch out for really is making sure that this core doesn't break, and that the roof is fine too. So if you want, you can even put like an anti-air trap up here as well for like a stray lobber, right? That's also something that you can do. But yeah, and then at the end here, I've actually been experimenting with the retractable floor spikes as well. You can do something like this, right? And then you just close up the tunnel like this, right? And then put like a broadside here. Yeah, like you can double broadside like that, or you can even put like another pair of wall lights right here with like a ceiling zapper up here, something like this, right? This is like the cleanup crew. This is the main damage. This is the cleanup crew. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, that's one tunnel that you can use right there. A really fun one. Now this is the classic cookie cutter tunnel. That's what cookie cutter. It's very standard, very common, where it's just freeze, broadside, gas. And this tunnel is so effective, guys, and because they're gonna get frozen, right? They're gonna get frozen like this, and then they're gonna get hit by all this damage, right? And the freeze traps, they actually apply a damage bonus to anything that gets frozen by the freeze traps. I have heard that nature husks actually don't get any damage boost on them, but that was like an old video, like a while ago. As far as my knowledge is concerned, the way how current Save the World is, everything that gets frozen by a freeze trap, I believe, takes 20% extra damage. I could be mistaken. Feel free to correct me in the comments, so if I can give that comment attention and stuff. But I'm pretty certain that the freeze traps in modern day Save the World apply a 20% damage bonus to anything that gets frozen, regardless of element. So yeah. So freeze, broadside, gas, and then when these traps are reloading, the next batch of them comes in like this. They're gonna get hit by this, another batch of freeze, another broadside, and if they make it all the way towards the end here, this is mainly for smashers, right? Or even like the stray husky that lives, right? They're gonna get double zapped by dynamo and zapper. The zapper is great for dealing just that big chunk of damage at the end, and the dynamo also does like a big chunk of damage. The dynamo is like a it functions kind of like a broadside, right? But you don't actually need like a wall to actually for it to do damage, right? It just zaps an area, and you can also put this on half walls, which I'll get into later, so don't worry about it. But yeah, this tunnel is really great. You can make it bigger as well. Like you can just take this like tar pit component and like move it over here, right? Like one more to the left here, and then put another freeze broadside gas chamber here as well. So yeah. And then here is a variation of the gas broadside freeze tunnel there. And it's the exact same thing, but with wooden floor spikes and wall lights. So this is a bit less damage. Or, yeah, it's a bit less damage, right? Because we don't have a broadside here, right? So obviously it's going to be a bit less damage. But it's a bit more fun, right? Because you can actually use wall lights right here to stun them. And we have wooden floor spikes because, although, you don't need the wall lights and the freeze together because then that's kind of overkill, right? Like they're gonna get frozen, right? But if they get stunned, like they're already frozen, right? So it's not like it's gonna do anything. So yeah, so we have the wooden floor spikes to actually damage them over time and also slow them, and then they're gonna get stunned by the wall lights, and then the cannonballs are gonna go all over the place and do a lot of damage, and the gas trap just keeps ticking and ticking and ticking and ticking and ticking and ticking, and yeah, it's the exact same concept but with wall lights and wooden floor spikes. So yeah, if you want to save on freeze traps, then hey, then you can use something like this if you want. And then over here, once again, another variation, right? But this time with ceiling electric fields. And the ceiling electric fields are actually really cool because they attack from 2 tiles high, like this, right? And this is mainly good if you actually are really worried about exploding death bomb, or if you're scared about propanes. Because those sploder husks carry the propane tank, right? But then once propanes, or I'm sorry, I call them propanes, right? But they're called sploders. Once sploder husks actually reach below a certain amount of HP by traps, they actually are going to automatically explode their propane tank in the tunnel. They're going to like kamikaze it, right? I believe around once they get to like half or so, half maybe 40% is when they start. Bro's gonna be walking like this, right? He's gonna be right, and then he's gonna get below half HP, and then he's gonna be like, you know what, man, I'm about to blow this place up, and then he blows the place up, and then you're like, oh, well, that kind of sucks, but the ceiling electric fields actually stay, because they don't actually get affected by, or like the the ceilings that they're on don't get affected by the propane tank, which is nice. The supporting structures do though, so you do have to make sure that these supporting structures are reinforced, right, or they're connected to like another thing over here and stuff. Because once these supporting structures do go down, then the ceiling will break and then your traps will get destroyed too. So just keep that in mind. Lobbers also have a tendency of throwing their skulls up here, so you can also put like another anti-air trap up here just to kill the lobbers, or to like destroy some of the skulls that they throw, and then you can just shoot them with your bow or whatever weapon that you got. So yeah. And then this is the Zig-Zag Tunnel. I love the Zig-Zag Tunnel. It's so fun because it's like the perfect mix of like crowd control and damage at the same time. So let's say the Huskers spawn like over here, right? Like in this area, right? This is where, and then you put your funnels like this. Just pretend these are funnels, right? And they're gonna walk in, right? And they're gonna get immediately hit by the sound wall and the wooden floor spikes. And the sound wall I put up here because the Sploder Husks, when they get hit by the sound wall, they actually drop their propane tank, which is really awesome, right? And then we even have an anti-air trap out here on the outside for any lobbers that want to throw their stuff. Or even sometimes Sploders might just throw their propane tank in the tunnel. They might just say, like I could just be standing in here, right? And, just watching them as they come by. And then the Sploder might look at me funny. And then he just says, you know what, bro? Here, catch. Yeet! Right? And then so the anti-air trap should hopefully destroy the propane tank before he throws it. But then, they're gonna get slowed and snared. They're gonna get hit by the sound wall. They're gonna be dancing, and then the moment they walk in here, some of them are gonna get frozen. Some of them are gonna die to the gas. Some of them are gonna die to the broadside. Some of them are gonna get launched out. My wall launcher does have a faster reload speed than my freeze trap, so the next wave of husks that comes in are probably going to get launched out of here, right? So it creates that recycling effect. That's what they call it. They call it a recycling effect, where I put wall launchers on all these walls facing outwards, right? So that the husk gets pushed back here, and the husk that makes it over here gets pushed back over here, and then maybe this one can also do like a chain reaction, right? So the one that gets over here gets pushed back over here, and the one that gets pushed back here gets pushed back over here, and all that stuff. And same thing for this one over here. And then so it's really standard, really standard zigzag. So the freeze to help actually do damage with the gas and the broadside, and then the wall launchers to crowd control anything that doesn't get frozen, which is nice. And here at the end, I put a dynamo because this is actually the perfect transition to what I want to say. Stop putting broadsides like this, guys. Stop doing this. Stop putting broadsides on the walls and then having them shoot out into thin air, right? Stop doing that because the broadsides, the way how they do damage, right? The cannonballs that they fire, they only do damage. Well, they do damage on impact, right? But the way how they actually do damage is by bouncing all over the place in a tunnel. That's why you see me over here putting broadsides looking at each other like this, face to face. Because the cannonballs are going to shoot from the cannons, right? And then they're going to go do-do-do-do-do-do, right? They're going to do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And like literally, when you even place the broadside in a tunnel, right, you can literally see all the damage numbers that the broadside is doing against the husks. It's really satisfying to look at, actually, all the white and the yellow damage numbers whenever it crits. It's satisfying to look at. So they literally go all over the place in the tunnel, like within the tunnel, right? And that's how they do their damage. They don't do damage because you shot 3 cannonballs at their face like this, right? They do damage because those 3 cannonballs, or those 6 cannonballs that they fire, or whatever, or 8, however many they shoot out of one batch of broadside, they scatter everywhere, and because they keep ricocheting is how they do damage. So yeah, stop griefing your games by doing this. This triggers me so much, man. Like, especially when I see some newbie just spamming 144 supercharged broadsides like a freaking idiot. Just stop doing this. You could have them like 2 tiles wide like this. Ideally, you want them 1 tile away like this. Ideally, this is like the ideal scenario. But if you have them 2 tiles like this is also fine. If you don't want to put broadsides here, you can also put something like wall darts or even wall dynamos as well. So yeah, this is just what I like doing though. So feel free to copy that. And here we can actually get to the slope. Let me just break this. Yeah, and here we can actually get to the slope. And the slope is a really fun one because let's say that you're in a mission, right? And you see like a natural ledge. This happens, right? And now you can actually build on ledges, right? Or natural slopes like that. Before you couldn't, but I think an update a while ago they added that. So, and we can actually put traps on these slopes too. But what I want to talk about as well is the tire trap. And the tire trap, before I get into anything else, let's also talk about the tire trap. So the way how the tire trap works, right? Ideally, you want it to be 3 tiles high. They can trigger from 3 tiles high, and the reason why you want them 3 tiles high is because they also have physics. The tires, when they drop, you know, it's called the drop trap. When they drop from the ceiling, they go up and down, 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 and that's how they get their damage, and that's how they get their impact, by actually bouncing up and down. So the way how the broadsides do damage by bouncing like in the walls and stuff, the tire traps get their damage by bouncing up and down and going down ramps and stuff and bouncing on the floor. So if you have a tire trap like this, it's doing nothing. There's no bouncing. There's no bouncing, guys. It's not gonna bounce. It's gonna go like this, like once or twice, and then it's gone. It's useless. It's reloading. it's worthless. You know. So stop doing that. Just stop putting tire traps like this. Like this does nothing, right? So you want to put them 3 tiles high, and yes, you know, you can build, you know, 2 of them, build a ramp there, build another thing, and then build a ceiling like how I did right there. And then also you want to use trap directionality. Now this is also something that I forgot to mention with the freeze trap. So let me go back to the freeze trap for a minute. Actually, the freeze trap, when you actually place it, depending on the direction that you placed it, is going to depend on where the husk gets staggered when it thaws out. So, for example, let's say, okay, yeah, perfect. Let's go over here to the funneling system. So let's say, okay, this is your objective, right? Pretend this is like your data site. This is your objective. You want to put the freeze traps facing towards your objective like this when you're actually building the defense. And the reason why is because whenever they get frozen, right, and they thaw out, they're going to get staggered backwards like this, you know? And you can actually permanently stall huskies with the freeze trap because of this. Depending on your reload perks, which I have double reload, so it should perma-stall the huskies. And so if you put the freeze traps like this, facing like away from the objective, they're actually gonna get, you know, the husks are gonna start walking like this, and then they're gonna get frozen by this one, and then they're actually gonna thaw staggered this way, in this direction, which is not what you want. You want them to be staggered away from the objective like that. So yeah, and then back to our tire traps, they have the exact same mechanic with their staggering mechanic. So you want to put the tire trap facing towards the objective like that, right? With that green tank facing outwards. That green tank up there depends on where they're going to get staggered when you put the tire trap down. So because I faced it like this, and the green tank is facing outwards like that, they're going to get staggered backwards when they get hit by the tires like this. Now, let's do the exact same thing, but on the other side, right? Break all this. And then now if I put the tire trap like this, and they come in from this way, right? See how the tank is facing in that direction? So when they get hit by the tires, they're actually going to go this way. They're going to get, like, you know, damage and all that stuff, but they're still going to get staggered this way, which is not what you want. So when you're building up these slopes, what you want to do is make sure that the tank is facing, like, you know, towards, like away from like, you know, where the slope is going downwards. That green tank over there. So because, you know, the slope is facing downwards like this, we want it to be, you know, we want the husk to go down the ramp. So what's gonna happen is that they're gonna walk on this floor spikes. It's gonna, you know, they're gonna get slowed, and then they're gonna get hit by the tires, and then all the other husks like behind that guy are also gonna get hit by the tires, right? And then if the next batch comes up while this thing is reloading and the tires are gone, then the next tire comes, and then they're gonna drop more tires on them, and they're gonna get staggered back like this. And they're also slowed, by the way, so, you know, it's like an uphill battle that they gotta climb through. And then if another batch gets through that one, then we got another tire trap right here to keep sliding them down, because this one probably already reloaded, keep sliding them down and all that stuff. So yeah, and then if anything if anything makes it past all these tire traps, most likely like a smasher or something like that gets past that tire trap, then we got the classic tar pit zapper combo to immobilize the smasher, and then you can just shoot into it, right, once it comes up and stuff. So yep, that's the slope thing. And here's actually a tunnel that I use in one of my videos where it actually incorporates the broadside freeze combo with tires, and it's really cool tunnel that I made on myself. It felt pretty good making it. So the idea is that they're going to get frozen, right, hit by the broadsides, hit by tires, and then while this thing is reloading, the tires are still going up and down, so the next batch of Husker gets staggered a bit backwards. But then, if they make it up this ramp, then they're going to get hit by more tires, get staggered backwards. They're going to get zapped by double dynamos like this, right? The dynamo zap in like an area. And then if they somehow make it up this, then we got the cleanup crew over here as well for another batch of freeze and broadside and even more tire traps to keep staggering them backwards like this. And then at the end here, if you want to, you can put like a tar pit here. That also works. It's usually what I do, so you can copy that if you want. And here we can talk about death pits. And how long I've been recording for? 20 minutes. Yeah, that's about average. I kind of yap too much. But yeah, here we got the death pits. Now the death pit is something that is really important because it is quite literally infinite damage for barely any materials. So yeah, let's say the husks are spawning like over here, right? Like over here and stuff, right? Just pretend that thing's like a spawn, right? And you know, with the use of funneling, right? You know, we can dig our funnels like that. So now they're going to be directed to go down this area, right? And it's literally as simple as 2 floor spikes and 2 wall launchers and some tire traps depending on the difficulty of the mission. And this tunnel will be in peak condition the entire time. If you want, you can also put a tar pit at the end here, or even like a defender that's shooting at them as they're walking in, right? And I had these edited walls like this because this actually happened in video as well, where a smasher came by, right? A power level 211 smasher came by, got slowed by those spikes, and then the wall launcher actually booped it into the pit because the impact barrier got broken. My wall launchers are triple impact, so they have a lot of impact, and because of that, it was actually enough to boop a smasher into the death pit, and then it just immediately died as it went into the death pit, which is awesome. And for easier missions, this is really all you need, the wall launchers and the floor spikes. I have the tire traps though because it's just it's an adaptation that I did for like harder difficulty missions that are like, you know, like 4 players and stuff like that. And they actually come in clutch so much. And these tire traps that I put up here are actually specialized for stalling. I have 2 schematics here. This schematic is for general use, for just, you know, damage dealing and all that stuff, right? Like if I actually want the tire traps to actually kill stuff. But this tire trap is optimized for stalling, and yeah, that's really it, and maximizing its impact and staggering mechanics. So for the perks here, we got gray damage, and I know they're purple here, they're everything else, but it works just as fine, trust me. I'm in the process, I'm making it legendary, so don't worry about it, it works just as well. So we got 3 times durability and 2 times reload speed. And I mean, like here's the difference, right? So this one has an 8.5 second reload speed, right, with 53 durability. But this one has a 7.1 reload time with 68 durability. And that extra 1.4 second actually does matter so much. Like, it actually does when it comes to actually keeping things in place and installing them for longer. So, yeah. Really cool tunnel. But then also here is like another death pit that I made. But this time it actually uses floor launchers. And the floor launchers pretty much do the exact same thing in a death pit. So the way how I built it here is that so just pretend like husks are coming in through here, right? They're gonna come to this tunnel, right? And then I put an edited wall like this, and then I put an edited cone like that, facing upwards, or you can put a ramp too. That also works. It's fine, like that, right? That also works. But this is just what I did. And then when they walk up here, they're gonna get booped upwards and then slide off the cone into the pit, right? And if you want, you can even make sure that they don't slide off into anywhere else by putting a wall like that, and stuff. But but also sometimes I have noticed that they actually like get booped on like the corner and then they like fly out in that direction. So then I put these walls here to reinforce the or to like make sure that they go in the straight direction that I want them to go to into the pit. And then here is also another use of a floor launcher where it's like I can't really get a good angle to actually boot them into the pit. So what I did, I put a floor launcher up here with same exact design like this, but facing outwards into that direction where they spawn from, so I can recycle them and stuff. So we got the death pit here with some recycling over here as well, and it's pretty cool. I like it. It's pretty fun to play with, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, and then here's just the standard wall launcher tire trap that I went over already. So yeah, get creative. Like this here is just pure creativity. So yeah, if you want to use that in your missions, feel free to do so. And here. Well, it's actually not last. I want to get into one more thing all the way over there. Here is the timeout rooms, and the timeout rooms are so awesome and really effective because they look small, but they're actually really effective, like genuinely. So what's gonna happen is that they're gonna walk in, get slowed and snared, and then they're gonna get booped into this area right here. And I mean, like guys, this is just like a pit of death. Like this is just like a room of death right here. We got broadside, gas, freeze, and even wall darts. And the wall darts are great because while they are actually walking on here, and like let's say that the wall launcher is reloading, the wall darts are gonna shoot them as they're coming in and stuff. So yep. And then it's the exact same thing over here. And here I put tire traps actually. If you want, you can also just put gas traps here, like this. Oh, that's not a gas trap. Or okay, well, I only have one, but like yeah. So just picture the gas trap there. If you want, you can also do like this. This is what most people do. They just put 4 gas traps like this. But I put a tire traps here just to be a bit fancy and to add my own little twist to it. Because I actually do like the staggering mechanic that tire traps provide. And I just find it to be. I found it to be like just generally effective in pretty much most of the builds that I do actually. So yeah. This is the timeout room. It's really cool, really effective. The only thing that's getting through this is like a smasher, pretty much. And for that, you know, you could put your tar pit here at the end and just shoot it as it comes through, and like your ceiling zapper, like how I've been showcasing and stuff. So yeah. And last but not least, this is actually a tunnel that I quickly constructed as well. And yeah, so this is what a tunnel that I'm just like made up right now that actually uses different edit pieces and wall darts that shoot through the wall and stuff. So the husk are spawning over here, right? And so here I added the component of sound walls, floor spike, and anti-air trap for any lobbers and propanes. And you know, so they're gonna walk in here, right? And they're gonna get frozen, and they're gonna get double zapped by the dynamo. Now the dynamo here, you actually notice that it's on like it's not even like a half wall. This is like a third wall pretty much. And yeah, you can put dynamos on these walls, and it's really freaking cool. And you can also put dynamos on windowed walls like this. So yeah, before I get into any of that, yeah. So the freeze trap, double zap, and the gas trap, and then as the dudes keep coming in, they're gonna get gas, 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 and then as they walk over here on the wooden floor spike, they're gonna get slowed and snared, chip damage over time. Hit by the broadsides, they're gonna bounce everywhere, and they're also gonna get stunned by the wall lights over right here. But one thing hold on. And one thing I forgot to mention is that while they're over here, while they're frozen over here, the wall darts over here can actually shoot 3 tiles long. So for example, so we got 1, 2, 3. So literally, as they're right here, those wall darts there can actually hit the husks while they're over here, and they can shoot through the window, which is awesome. And over here to my right, I actually have more wall darts right here as well, so we can, you know, it's like the wall darts are tiles apart, right? But they can actually still hit the husks while they're getting immobilized here. And here, I put a defender pad in here because here's actually like a pretty good spot to include your like a shotgun defender or like a assault rifle defender with like a bundle bust or something like that in that little corner. Or if you want, you can also put like an anti-air trap too, just in case any propanes throw their stuff in the tunnel. I believe here you can also put a ceiling electric field because they do target in a 3x3 area, right? So I want to say if you put a field right there, it'll hit the husk that gets frozen like right here, right? Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say that does work. But yeah, so as they keep walking along, they're gonna get this. They're gonna get stunned by the wall lights that you can also put on windowed walls, which is pretty cool. More gas trap, and then over here, frozen. More gas, and then whatever doesn't get frozen as it comes along here gets booped back over here. They get stunned by the wall lights, the wall darts again. You know, that recycling mechanic that I told you about. And then here's the end of the tunnel where it's just tar pit, ceiling zapper, double broadside. If you want, you could also put the retractable floor spikes here as well. With like wall dynamos and wall lights too if you want to, like how I showcased in the other tunnel before. But here's just nice and simple, nice and easy. And then if you want, you can also put an anti-air trap up here as well, just in case for any lobbers and stuff. But yeah, this is just like a little quick tunnel that I built where it showcases not only the use of wall darts, but also edited pieces. And you can put traps on these edited pieces to make your tunnels more effective and deadly. And also, you know, defenders can also make them better too. So yeah. But anyways, that's it, guys. That's the video. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. These are the tunnels that I use. Oh yeah, and use my supported creator code STOCKINGS. It means the world to me. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.